She didn't whisper it. She didn't hint at it. She said it straight to the camera. Karlissa just went live and dropped a sentence that shook the timeline. Blueface has zero legal rights to his own son. If you thought you'd seen it all, think again. This is Hood Files, where secrets explode before your eyes. Because when a mother goes public about custody and casually admits her son has no legal control over his child, that's not just family drama. That's a war declaration. The internet couldn't believe it, and you won't either. Blueface. Karlissa. Junior ate baby caught in a storm of live streams, legal loopholes, and ego battles. And now Karlissa is stepping into the spotlight like she's holding classified documents. If you were in this position, same betrayal, same threat, same public humiliation, what would you do? Would you stay quiet? Would you fight back? Or would you let the whole world think you lost? Because according to Karlissa, this wasn't an accident. This wasn't confusion. This was planned. Bro said too much and they got him. Let's break it all down. And trust me, it gets uglier. Karlissa didn't wake up one morning and decide to trend. She's been orbiting controversy for years, long before this custody storm exploded across timelines. To understand why her recent livestream hit like a bombshell, you have to rewind the tape. You have to remember the history, the interviews, the side comments, the passive-aggressive Instagram captions, the family dinners that somehow always ended up on live. Because this wasn't just about Junior, this was about power, about pride, about who really controls the narrative when the cameras are always rolling. Blueface and Karlissa were never a quiet couple. From the beginning, their relationship played out like a reality show with no script supervisor. Fights, makeups, tattoos, tears, the kind of chaos that trend by breakfast and spirals by dinner. And when Junior entered the picture, fans thought maybe, just maybe, the storm would calm down. But instead it evolved. The arguments weren't just about loyalty anymore. They were about fatherhood, about rights, about who gets to say what on social media, and who stays silent. Karlissa, always watching, always calculating, had been vocal before. She questioned decisions. She defended her son. She criticized Karlissa publicly, then claimed she wanted peace. It was a cycle. One week she was calling for unity. The next week she was clapping back at strangers in the comments. But this time felt different. This time, she wasn't just shading. She was stating something heavy. She looked straight into the camera and said, in essence, that Blueface had no legal control over Junior, that there was nothing he could do, that the situation had been strategically structured. Now let's pause right there. Because when someone says no legal control, that's not gossip. That's legal territory. That's paperwork. That's birth certificates and state laws and courtrooms. And according to her, the way everything unfolded wasn't accidental. She suggested that choices were made deliberately, where the baby was born, how documents were filed, what names were or weren't included, not confirmed facts, not court-certified evidence, but her perspective, her version. Fans immediately split into camps. Some said she was exposing the truth. Others accused her of deflecting responsibility. Comments flooded in. If he wanted rights, he'd fight for them. You can petition the court. This sounds like damage control. And in the middle of it all, Junior became more than a child. He became a symbol, a storyline, a headline. But here's where it gets layered. Karlissa didn't just speak about legal technicalities. She framed it emotionally. She spoke like a grandmother who feels blocked, like someone watching from the sidelines. She said they were open, that they would have embraced the baby, that circumstances prevented involvement. Again, her claims, her tone, her delivery. And tone matters, because she didn't sound defeated. She sounded almost resigned, like someone saying, "We tried, now we wait." And the internet hates waiting. People dug up old clips, old lives, old moments where Blueface seemed distant, moments where Karlissa hinted at tension. Fans started asking questions that didn't have clear answers. Was there ever a formal custody agreement? Was paternity legally established? Was this about ego or about actual court filings? Nobody outside the immediate circle truly knew. But speculation doesn't need confirmation to trend. What made this moment explosive wasn't just what Karlissa said, it was when she said it. After weeks of online murmurs about Junior, after fans tagging her under random posts, after live chats turned into interrogation rooms, she chose to respond publicly. She chose to clarify or complicate things. And let's not pretend history doesn't matter here. Blueface brand has always leaned into chaos. He's not the rapper who hides from controversy. He walks toward it. He laughs at it. Sometimes he monetizes it. But fatherhood hits differently. You can clown your haters. You can dismiss rumors. But when the topic shifts to your child, the tone shifts too. Karlissa made it clear she believes Blueface is a good father, that if he could do more, he would, that the barriers aren't emotional but procedural, that the system itself is the wall. And that statement, right there, changes a narrative from deadbeat accusations to legal entanglement. Whether that framing is accurate is another conversation, but it's powerful because it positions him not as absent but as restricted. And then there's Karlissa, always present in the background of this storyline. According to Karlissa, the circumstances around Junior's birth were intentional, planned in a way that limited options. Those are heavy implications, not criminal accusations, not courtroom verdicts, but implications. And in the world of viral storytelling, implications are gasoline. Viewers began connecting dots. Why was the birth in that state? Why wasn't the paperwork immediate? Why hasn't there been a public custody filing? Questions stacked up. No confirmed documents surfaced. No official statements from attorneys. Just live videos, screenshots, and speculation threads. But what makes this story compelling isn't paperwork. It's emotion. It's a mother defending her son. It's a grandmother defending her grandson. It's a relationship that never found stability, trying to co-parent through screens. Every live stream becomes evidence. Every comment becomes commentary. And the most telling part? Karlissa didn't sound angry at the baby's mother. She sounded frustrated with the situation. She repeated phrases about prayer, about waiting for hearts to change, about not forcing anything. That softness confused people because they expected fireworks. Instead, they got controlled fire, which raises another question. Is this a strategic shift? Is this an attempt to look calm while the other side looks chaotic? Or is it genuine surrender to legal reality? Nobody knows. But everyone has an opinion, because in celebrity culture, perception often outweighs paperwork. If the public believes someone has zero legal rights, that phrase sticks. It becomes narrative cement. Even if lawyers could argue nuances for hours. And just when viewers thought the live stream would fade like all the others, something shifted. A subtle line, a comment in passing, a hint that there may have been attempts behind the scenes that never made it online, attempts that didn't go as planned. That's when the timeline got quiet. Because if what she's saying is even partially true, then this isn't just messy co-parenting. This is strategy. This is foresight. This is chess, not checkers. And if it's not true, then someone just escalated a custody battle into public warfare. Because just when the live stream clips started circulating, just when blogs reposted the zero legal rights quote with dramatic captions, just when reaction channels hit upload, another layer surfaced. Not official paperwork, not court transcripts, something more chaotic. Screenshots, DMs, voice notes, alleged messages from close sources who claimed the custody situation was way deeper than anyone realized. Now let's be clear, none of these leaks were verified in a courtroom. No judge stamped them. No attorney confirmed them. But in the world of online scandal, verification moves slower than virality. One anonymous account posted what they claimed were direct messages from someone inside the camp. The messages suggested there had been talks, quiet talks, private meetings, discussions about visitation schedules that never materialized. The tone of those messages painted a picture of negotiations that stalled before they ever reached a courthouse. Again, alleged, not confirmed. But the internet doesn't wait for footnotes. And then came the narrative shift. Because suddenly, this wasn't just about birth certificates. It was about control. About who controls access. About who controls the baby. About who controls the story. Fans began dissecting old interviews. Remember when Blueface casually said he'd handle it in court if needed. That clip resurfaced. Remember when Karlissa hinted that everything is handled privately? That clip resurfaced too. Now every word felt strategic. Every pause felt suspicious. One blog posted a headline claiming, "Sources say custody filing was delayed for a reason." No evidence attached, just sources, and people ran with it. Another reaction page quoted a supposed insider saying, "Because nothing screams loyalty like a 2 a.m. PayPal transfer." Now nobody to confirm what that meant. Was it a joke? Was it about child support? Was it about something else entirely? The vagueness made it worse, because mystery breeds engagement. Meanwhile, Karlissa went live again, this time calmer, almost rehearsed. She reiterated her position. She said the situation was what it was. She implied they were respecting boundaries, but then she added something subtle. She mentioned that attempts had been made to do things the right way. She didn't specify what that meant. Legal filing? DNA testing? Mediation? She didn't clarify, but viewers noticed. Because if attempts were made and failed, then that contradicts the idea that nothing could be done. Now the blog smelled blood. One platform claimed they had court rumor confirmation that a petition draft existed but was never submitted. They never showed the document. They never named a clerk. But the rumor alone ignited speculation. Was Blueface actually blocked legally? Or was there hesitation? Or was there a deal behind closed doors? Another influencer tweeted, "This ain't custody drama. This is branding warfare." That tweet alone racked up thousands of reposts. And here's where the tension escalated. Because someone dug into state law. They pulled up statutes. They highlighted sections about paternal rights and birth certificates. They showed that in many states, a father not listed can petition the court for recognition. It's not automatic, but it's possible. Now the comment section exploded. If he wanted to fight, he could. Stop playing victim. Y'all acting powerless on purpose. And just when the internet was convinced it had cracked the code, another name surfaced. An old associate, a manager figure, someone who allegedly advised on legal strategy before. Suddenly that person was trending too, allegedly advising restraint, allegedly saying public court battles would damage brand deals. No proof, just whispers. Because in celebrity culture, optics matter more than paperwork. And that's when the sarcastic commentary got sharper. Oh, so now it's 0 rights, but there's enough rights to go live? Funny how the system is the villain until it's convenient. Reaction channels piled on. Some defended Karlissa, saying she was simply being honest. Others accused her of soft-launching an excuse. But behind the memes and commentary, something real was happening. Pressure, because every live stream became a liability. Every statement was archived, every word dissected. And when family issues turn into content, the stakes rise fast. Then came the alleged financial angle. A rumor surfaced claiming there were disagreements over child support expectations versus branding control. No documents. No court filings made public. Just sources close to the situation. But the rumor had weight. Because money complicates everything. Because nothing screams unity like arguing over invoices. One blogger joked, and that sarcasm stuck. Now the narrative wasn't just about rights. It was about leverage. Who benefits from silence? Who benefits from public sympathy? Who benefits from appearing blocked versus appearing uninvolved? Karlissa, intentionally or not, had shifted the spotlight, but just when it felt like the story was plateauing. When fans thought it was just more internet noise, a clip resurfaced from a month ago. A clip where Blueface said something cryptic about timing. Timing. That word hit different now, because timing could mean waiting for the right legal moment. Or timing could mean waiting for the right PR moment. And just when we thought the custody rumors were the climax, a new question started circulating. Was this entire public dispute actually covering something else? Because another whisper emerged. Not about Junior, not about legal rights, but about a separate disagreement entirely. Something involving past contracts. Something involving future deals. Something that made custody tension look like a distraction. Again, no confirmed filings. No sworn testimony. Just layered rumors, stacking on top of livestream confessions. And that's when even loyal supporters began hesitating. Because when narratives change too often, trust thins out. But just when we thought it was over, another name came up. Not a lawyer, not a judge, not a court clerk, an ex-associate. Someone who used to be in the inner circle. Someone who allegedly knew how things were handled behind the scenes. And the moment that name hit Twitter, the timeline froze. Because if you've been following this saga long enough, you know one thing. Insiders don't talk unless something cracked. Now again, nothing was officially confirmed. No sworn affidavit. No court-certified statement. Just whispers. But those whispers suggested that the custody tension wasn't just emotional. It wasn't just legal confusion. It might have been strategic positioning from the start. One reaction channel summarized it perfectly. This ain't about access. This is about advantage. And suddenly, the story shifted from family drama to chess match. According to the rumor mill, there were conversations about timing announcements, about when to go public, about when to stay quiet, about how public perception could influence leverage in negotiations. Allegedly, because let's be honest, in celebrity culture, perception is currency, and if you control the narrative, you control sympathy. Karlissa's zero legal rights statement now looked less like surrender and more like a calculated move. Whether intentional or emotional, it placed a family in a position of victimhood, powerless, blocked, restricted. But here's where it gets complicated, because while the internet argued over paperwork, something else was happening quietly. Brand partnerships slowed. Public appearances became more cautious. Interview questions got sharper. The word custody started replacing relationship drama in headlines. And that word hits differently. Custody implies courts, judges, lawyers, decisions that don't disappear in 24 hours. Then came the emotional fallout. Blueface, known for chaos energy, seemed quieter, less reactive, fewer wild live streams, fewer impulsive comments. Some fans interpreted that as growth. Others saw it as damage control. Karlissa continued speaking, but more carefully, more prayer references, more we respect boundaries. Less heat, less fire. And Karlissa, she stayed relatively silent on the legal side, which made things louder, because silence in a storm feels intentional. Some supporters claimed she was protecting her peace. Others argued she was protecting leverage. Nobody outside their immediate circle truly knew, but emotionally, the pressure was visible. Imagine being a child growing up in headlines before you can walk. Imagine every decision about your life debated in comment sections. Imagine your name trending before you can spell it. That's the part the internet forgets. Behind every viral clip is a real child who didn't choose live stream culture. Now here's where the story takes its final twist. An unexpected rumor surfaced that there might be private mediation happening. Not public court, not explosive hearings. Quiet mediation, off camera, no live stream. Again alleged, no official confirmation. But if true, that changes everything. Because mediation means negotiation. And negotiation means both sides are talking, which contradicts the zero rights narrative entirely. Unless the public narrative was never meant to reflect the private strategy. And that possibility, that's what unsettled fans the most. Because if the audience is only seeing curated fragments, then the real battle isn't custody. It's control. Control over headlines. Control over sympathy. Control over who looks like the villain. But emotional damage doesn't care about strategy. Family tension leaves marks. You could see it in the tone shifts, in the way jokes didn't land the same anymore, in the way sarcasm felt heavier. The internet, which once cheered chaos, started showing fatigue. Comment sections changed from "this is entertaining" to "this is sad." That's when you know the storyline crossed a line. And just when it felt like the public pressure might force an explosive reveal, something strange happened. Everything went quiet. No dramatic legal announcement. No explosive court filing posted to Instagram. No dramatic confrontation live on camera. Just silence. And silence in a saga this loud is terrifying, because silence means one of two things. Either things are being handled privately, or something bigger is brewing. Fans still debate whether Karlissa's statement was an emotional outburst or a strategic message, whether Blueface truly has limited legal positioning, or whether it's more complex than live stream language suggests, whether Karlissa calculated every move or simply protected her boundaries. The truth? Probably layered, probably less dramatic than the blogs claim, but more complicated than the comments admit. And here's the uncomfortable part. Sometimes in celebrity culture, the loudest declarations aren't about truth. They're about influence. Because once you say zero legal rights, that phrase lives forever online. It becomes Googleable. It becomes searchable. It becomes permanent. But family situations evolve. Court filings change. Agreements happen behind closed doors. What the public sees is rarely the full contract. And yet, the emotional fallout lingers. Trust fractures. Relationships strain. Public sympathy shifts. And reputations take hits that no judge can undo. Whether this custody tension leads to reconciliation, court proceedings, or quiet co-parenting agreements, one thing is clear. The damage has already been documented. Because in 2025, family disputes don't stay private. They become content. And content becomes narrative. And narrative becomes legacy. But the scariest part? We still don't know which version of the story is real. Was it truly a legal blockade? Was it hesitation? Was it negotiation? Or was it something entirely different hiding behind the noise? The timeline moved on to new scandals, new drama, new viral clips. But this one, it left a mark. Because this wasn't just about who said what on live. It was about power, about pride, about who controls access, and who controls a story. And until official documents surface or someone breaks the silence with undeniable proof, we're left with fragments. Fragments of live stream confessions, fragments of alleged DMs, fragments of emotional defenses. And in the end, one thing remains haunting. The cameras are still on. The internet is still watching. And somewhere behind the noise, real decisions are being made that won't trend, but will matter far more than any headline ever could. She didn't vanish. He didn't disappear. But the certainty did. And in its place, questions, unanswered, lingering, and heavy. So let's take a breath. Because if you really step back and look at everything we just unpacked, the live stream confessions, the alleged legal loopholes, the silence, the whispers about mediation, this isn't just another internet storyline. This is a family situation playing out in front of millions. And the truth? We still don't know what's real, what's strategy, and what's emotion. Did Karlissa truly expose a legal reality? Or did she drop a statement that shifted public sympathy in her son's favor? Does Blueface really have zero legal positioning? Or is there something happening quietly that we're not meant to see? And what about Karlissa? Is she protecting her peace or protecting leverage? If you were in this position, same pressure, same public spotlight, same custody tension, what would you do? Would you take it to court immediately? Would you stay silent? Would you go live and tell your side before someone else tells it for you? The internet has opinions. The blogs have theories. The reaction channels have hot takes. But I want to hear from you. Do you think this is a real legal blockade or a strategic narrative move? Drop your thoughts in the comments right now. And if you're new here, hit that subscribe button because this story is far from over. If court filings surface, if mediation leaks, if another live stream shakes the timeline, we're breaking it down. No filters, no blind loyalty, just the full picture. Because this is Hood Files. And trust me, the next update might change everything.